Okay, today we're doing the third set of notes and we're going to do the first page front and back. So at the top of your page, I want you to notice that it says the unit circle, and something I want you to write down for the definition of a unit circle is that the radius will always be 1. The only reason the radius is 1 is if you use one of the coordinates coming from the unit circle. So if your x and y are any other values other than the ones you see, the radius will not be 1. So we're going to go through a series of problems and I'm going to show you how to use the unit circle to answer questions. So notice at the bottom for your first example it says sine of 5 pi over 6. So now I'm not giving you a coordinate, I give you an angle. But based on the diagram, you can determine that 5 pi over 6 goes with the coordinate of negative root 3 over 2 and a half. And then to find your sine, sine is y over r. And remember, this is x, this is y, and the radius is 1. So when I go to set this up, I have 1/2 divided by 1, and anything divided by 1 is just a half. So sine of 5 pi over 6 is a half. And that's all you have to do. So for letter B, we have sine of 5 pi over 4. So we look at the unit circle and notice in the third quadrant, the middle coordinate is a 5 pi over 4. So that's negative root 2 over 2 and a negative root 2 over 2. And the radius is still 1. And to find cosine, we do x over r. So I do negative root 2 over 2 all over 1, which equals negative root 2 over 2. So the answer is negative root 2 over 2. So for sine and cosine, you really don't have to do too much work. Tangent, we're going to have to do a little bit more work. So for tangent, we have a pi over 3, and in the first quadrant, notice the coordinate for pi over 3 is 1/2 and root 3 over 2. And to find tangent, we do y over x. So I have root 3 over 2 divided by a half. And to divide fractions, we keep, change, flip, or multiply by the reciprocal. So I have root 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. And notice that I have a 2 on the top and the bottom, so the 2's are going to cancel, and I'm just left with the square root of 3. So you're going to try the 3 practice problems at the bottom of the page for this section. So if you need to pause the video, you may, and do those 3 practice problems. And then we're going to move on to the next set of practice or examples on the next page. So on the next page, you have sine of a 9 pi over 4. And if you flip back and you look at your unit circle, you're going to notice that 9 pi over 4 does not appear anywhere on your graph. So we have to find a coterminal angle, and this is what we learned yesterday. So the first step we do is find a coterminal angle, and to do that, we subtract 2 pi. Now remember, I need to get common denominators, so I'm going to multiply this top and bottom by 4. So I have 9 pi over 4, and I'm subtracting 8 pi over 4. So that means the angle we are looking at is 1 pi over 4. So if you flip back to your unit circle, you're going to see that 1 pi over 4 is on there, and the coordinate for that is root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. And now sine is y over r. So let me change the color here. So y over r. So root 2 over 2 over 1 will just be root 2 over 2. So that would be our final answer. So again, you're kind of piecing everything together. We have to find coterminal first, and then you use the unit circle. So for letter B, I have an 8 pi over 3. So again, we start with finding coterminal first. And that means we have to subtract 2 pi. And to get common denominators, we multiply by 1, or by 3, so that common denominators are the same. So 8 pi over 3 minus 6 pi over 3. So we're looking for 2 pi over 3. So go ahead and take a moment, look on the other page on your unit circle for your coordinate. And you should find that the coordinate is negative 1/2 and root 3 over 2. And I hope you notice that these coordinates become very repetitive. What changes is the signs based on what quadrant it's in. Okay, so cosine is x over r. So I now have an x value. R is 1. So negative 1/2 divided by 1 will just give me an answer of negative 1/2. And that's it. So the last one we're going to do is our tangent. So letter C is tangent of 19 pi over 6. So again, we'll start by finding our coterminal angle because 19 pi over 6 isn't on there. And we're going to times this top and bottom by 6. So again, 19 pi over 6 minus the 12 pi over 6. So our coterminal angle is 7 pi over 6. So go ahead and take a moment and find on the other page what is the coordinate that we're using for 7 pi over 6. And it should be located in the third quadrant. And the coordinate is negative root 3 over 2 and a negative 1/2. So now we do have to do a little bit of work here. So tangent is y over x. So I'm going to set up my y value of negative 1/2 divided by my x value. And now I have a fraction over a fraction. So I have to keep, change, flip, multiply by the reciprocal, whatever way helps you remember. And notice, so I have a negative times a negative. So it's going to be a positive, and these 2's are going to cancel. So those 2's are gone. So now I'm with 1 over root 3. And then this is not acceptable as a final answer because the square root's in the bottom. So the last thing you need to do is rationalize. And that's when we multiply by the root 3. So our final answer is root 3 over 3. Okay, so again, take a moment, pause the video, try the next 3 practice problems. At the end of the video, so like in the next 10 seconds, I'll tell you what the answers are for the first set of practice problems so you can check your answer. So if you need to pause the video, go ahead and pause the video. So the answers for the first set of practice problems should be negative 1/2, 1/2, and a negative 1. The answers for the second set of practice should be negative 1/2, negative root 2 over 2, and the square root of 3. So make sure you check your work, make sure you got those answers, and then you're going to do the worksheet for today. That's all.